Okay, so here I am with Mike Medeiros. He's in Hawaii. I'm in Fairmont, Minnesota. We're both got plans to attend the reunion. Format, Michael, what grade you started Kamehameha?
I started in the ninth grade.
Okay, so where were you before that?
I was at Our Lady of Good Counsel. It's a Catholic school in Pearl City.
All the way to eighth grade.
To eighth grade, second grade to eighth grade,
Right on.
and then I come in
And
med school.
okay, so then we graduated. What was your first move after that?
Graduated, and then I had 2 years at the University of Hawaii in the engineering program. And then I met this guy. There was what's it called? National Student Exchange (NSC). So there's a National Student Exchange program where you can do like a semester or a year at another school. And Hawaii, UH usually basically controls that program because everybody wants to come to Hawaii. So I met this guy in my physics class, and he was from Oregon State. And then he told me all about it. So I applied to it. And then you got to apply to the school too. So I applied to the school. I applied to the exchange program. I didn't get into the exchange program, but I got into Oregon State. And then so I said, I just gonna transfer.
And we ran into each other up there during that time, I remember.
At college or after college?
No, at college.
Were you at Willamette?
I was at Willamette the first
Oh,
year,
yes.
and then U of O. After I ran out of money, I went to U of O public school. So
Yeah, so it was good. And I graduated from Oregon State. Then I went all over. I don't know about you. What did you do after you graduated? Did you come back? I went. I traveled for about 10 years.
yeah, I stayed. I uh, finished about 2.5 years worth of college, then got into a what do you call that? Where you go work during your class and you get credit for it or
Oh yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Practicum,
Externship
I
or
think.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, they started paying me, and I thought, well, that was my goal, so I guess I'm done. So, but what drew you to engineering? Were you good with like drawing or math or what?
No, no. I was always good at math, and then probably almost since like the fourth grade. So there was an engineering firm called Walter Lum and Associates uh, in Hawaii. They're a pretty big geotechnical soils engineering firm. And Walter Lum was my dad's classmate at St. Louis. So my dad said, "Be an engineer, be an engineer, be an engineer. You're good at math. Be an engineer." It's like, okay, be an engineer. So I went to Oregon State, and then I graduated with a BS in civil engineering. And then I worked for CB&I Industries for about a year or so in the Bay Area. And then they actually sent me to Maui. They sent me to a Maui project. So as you land on Maui and you come in out of the airport, you look to the right. Maui Electric has a big smokestack. I was a field engineer on that job. Then they sent me overseas for like 18 months. And then
Was
contract was
that
up.
was that the Borneo thing?
That's the Borneo thing, man. Well, I'm
Man,
at Borneo.
when you were telling me some of those stories, I thought, how wild, man.
I survived. I was almost shot in a horror house in Borneo by the police.
Now that's a chapter in your autobiography that nobody's going to be able to top. That should be
It's
the title for that chapter. I was almost
a,
shot.
in a horror house in Borneo. My life as a civil engineer. And then I went to, so then I came back and then I was looking for work and it was a downturn in the economy. So I thought Houston would have a lot of work. So I went to Houston and it didn't, but my friend had a moving company. So I worked for him for about a year. And then I got a job finally in Dallas as an engineer. Then that's when I ran into you again in San Antonio.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. We went down for the whole, so it was in
Paths
Dallas.
paths crossing.
Yeah. And I went to Albuquerque to work with a friend to build a shopping center. And then I came back to Dallas. Actually, the second time in Dallas is when I met you. I ran into you.
Now,
And
now,
then I got
right now,
married.
we're in the 80s. Okay.
Yep. In the 80s. Then I got married in 87 in Plano. And I was there for a while. And then I had worked, and by that time, after left Albuquerque, the job in Albuquerque was done. We finished the shopping center. So I moved back to Dallas and I got a job at Dallas. And it was actually a Hawaii company with an office in Dallas. So then I got married. And then they had a change of uh, management in the Hawaii office. And the owner goes, "Hey, you want to go to Hawaii?" I was like, "Absolutely." So I moved back when I was 30. So then I was there for ran Weitzel for about 8 years. And then there was another downturn in the economy. And then I ended up at the state. And then I worked at the DOT for 27 years after that.
Wow. Now, was that primarily engineering that you did for the state, or?
Yeah, all engineering. I started as the bike ped coordinator, bicycle and pedestrian coordinator. And under that, the bike ped program was the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA compliance for highways. So I did that, and then we had a lawsuit, and they said you had to create a ADA coordinator's position for the department. So I applied for that, and I got that. So I was ADA coordinator for a while, and then I finished all the building stuff, and then it became compliance. And compliance is a pain. They just basically you're a nagger, and I didn't want to do that. So then I went back to So I then went back to highways. From department, I went back to highways, which is division. I worked in the field engineer. Then I worked. We created a new branch called project coordination and administration for monitoring and tracking projects and helping move projects along. And then I moved back out to the district back in asset management. And then I became the district engineer for a while. And that's when I retired.
So, what year did you retire?
End of 2023.
24. So, year and a half now.
About a year and a half, year and a couple months.
Okay.
I loved it. I did a bunch of traveling in 2024. My friend talked me into helping him with some consulting. So I'm helping him do some consulting at the DOH. And I got to decide if I like it or not. I kind of like taking my naps every day.
Now, when you say DOH, is that Department of Health?
Yeah, Department of Health.
Okay.
And it's right here. It's the one right on Veritania and Punch Bowl. So I walk to it. It's like a 10-minute walk from my house.
So, you live in town then?
Yeah, in town, 801 South. You know the old advertiser building?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 10 years ago, they built one tower on the Mackay side. And then 2 years later, they finished the second tower. So it's a Tower A, Tower B. I'm in Tower A
That's on the Mackay side.
on the Mackay side.
Okay. And I just personally happen to know from interacting with Mike, he has two awesome, awesome kids. The son went to my driver's ed class, and I don't know, he's been doing all right, right?
He's
Hasn't
doing
crashed
okay.
or
He went to Yale. Unfortunately, they both went to Punahou. They didn't get into Kamehameha, so they had to go to the backup school. Christopher went to Yale and graduated and took that Yale education and then worked as a bartender for several years. And then opening up restaurants. He opened up a couple of restaurants. And then now he's the operations guys for a nonprofit called the Global Deaf Research Institute. So they collect data on deaf people, which is an underserved community. Especially, it started in the pandemic during COVID. So he did that. He's been traveling. He's just spent 9 months in South America, and he's just came back. In fact, he's in Honolulu now. He's up the street at uh, his cousin's apartment by Ala Moana, and he does that because he's at the point where they're not gathering data now, so now they're writing grants, so he can do that anywhere. So he's doing his grant writing here at home. Kalia is still in New York. She moved to New York. She was going to be on Broadway. She'd been in a couple of shows and was kind of paying her dues and slowly chipping away. And then COVID hit and everything shut down. And she learned an adult lesson that even though uh, uh, everything shut down, she still had to pay rent. She still had to eat. So I'm proud of her. She pivoted. She went to digital marketing. So she's doing digital marketing in New York now.
And how old are the kids?
Oh, they're all grown up. They're 34 and 31.
And I lose track. Chris is older?
Chris is older. Chris is the older one. So. And
That's
then
one
Clea
of
went to
the
Michigan.
huh?
Clea went to Michigan.
It's I know it strikes me when I look at my kids and grandkids, and it's like when they talk ages, I mean, a couple of mine are in mid 40s already, so it's like but that's with stepkids. I got a kind of a jump start on them, I guess it was. So
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but but 9 grandkids and the youngest is 17. It's like, holy moly, where did the time
Wow.
go, man?
Wow. Yeah, the time is fine. So I'm in this group called Mamakai Alo. It's a Hawaiian men's eating group, cooking and eating group. And one of the members came in after me, and he was in the martial arts group. He was Kalika Ragwagrola from Wailua. So I was talking to him, man, good guy. He was in his 40s. And one time when he first came in, he was, hey, you got to meet my mom. You got to meet my mom or my dad. I'm like, okay, what's the big deal? Oh, shoot, his mom was a 73 grad from Kamehameha. And no, you can't be. You're my peer. How can your mom be? And then his dad was my age, 75 from Wailua. And just so happened I met him at our summer luau. My sister, who's a 73 grad, was there. So they were all talking, have a great time. I say, nah, it was so weird. Like, bro, no can. We peers, we friends. How can I go to school with your mom?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes mentally you just keep yourself in the late 20s bubble, and you think, okay, I'm here forever.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's not it, man.
No, I see people joke about it, but for me, it's sometimes true. You get out of bed and your knee will suddenly make a brand new sound, and you get kind of interested, like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Mine doesn't make a sound, but I'm like, ooh, that hurt. Why is it doing that? I'm just standing here. I just turned to the right. Why is my knee hurting? My knee should not be hurting.
And then too, they talk about older people getting injuries while they're sleeping. It's
Yeah,
like
right.
sometimes, yeah, I get up and, oh, how did I hurt that?
I read this and I'm a firm believer of it. They say when the first thing you get up, especially as you get older, you go and you make sure you go to the edge of the bed and you make sure both feet are firmly on the ground. And then you push up with both feet. I'm a believer in that, man.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So that's it. So how about you? Well, I heard you still driving. You still driving a
Yeah,
bus? You said, huh?
drive a school bus, and then part time they have a little city transit that like the little airport shuttle buses, because our town's
Yeah.
small, so whenever I don't think I ever have more than three people on the bus at the same time. I go to work about 5:30, and if I see two other cars before I get to work, something's wrong.
Oh wow.
It's either a holiday or hunting season just started or something out of the ordinary. But I love it because I hate traffic.
Oh, don't move back home.
Well, I was there from 96 to '09 and living in Waianae,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. I mean, just to get to of a beach exit or whatever, some days it would take me hour and a half or something. It's
Oh
like
yeah. Yeah.
I haven't gone anywhere. But the trade-off is there. Um, I touched base with Kathy Thurston this morning. She didn't respond right away or didn't respond fully. Then half an hour later, she comes back and she says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was on my morning beach walk," and she sent me pictures, and it's windward side somewhere. I mean, just gorgeous, and I'm going, and here I am in Minnesota. What the heck am I doing,
Yeah.
man?
Yeah. But
You get that
along with that,
economy trade off, and.
so I work out with my brother every Tuesday, and then when we're done, we have lunch. But he's always like, "Oh, okay, it's getting 2 o'clock. I gotta go." I said, "Why you gotta run off?" He goes, "Dude, he lives in Mililani." He goes, "I gotta beat that West Side traffic. If I don't leave between 2:30 at the latest, if I don't leave town by 2:30, I'm stuck in it." So he makes sure he's out by no later than 2:30. He leaves town because he comes
Yeah.
to town and we work out.
I've been curious. I was going to ask you, is Clark Hatch still in operation?
Clark Catch is still in operation, but they sold it a while back, and it's now called Unique Fitness.
But same business concept? I thought that
Same
was so
business
cool, though.
concept. Yeah, you go in and they give you the shorts and towels and shirts and shoes. So you quote unquote you have no excuse to work out. The only thing is they went like all businesses. They had a big downturn at during COVID, and so they pushed a lot of like the exercise class I was in got pushed online, and then when
Oh,
they opened up again, the gal leading the class tried to. She was going back into the gym, and I was going to the gym, but we were the only two because the Wahinis, most of them in the class were Wahinis, couple guys, but other people they liked doing it from home. They didn't need to bring their makeup. They didn't have to rush, you know. So, and then the internet was really bad in the gym. So she just does it from home now. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I work out right here in the living room
wow.
via Zoom. And then I was going in Tuesdays and Thursdays, but Clark Catch is expensive. It's like almost $90 a month, $80 a month, $90 a month. I forget.
Wow.
So I was like, yeah, for 2 days a week. And I wasn't even showering anymore because I was retired. I wake up, change clothes, walk down there on Tuesday, work out, walk back, shower here, right? So I was like, man, there's no reason for it. So I finally quit at the end of 2024 after 30 something years.
Wow. That convenience, I could never beat it. It's just I just thought, why wasn't it a wider business concept that you could find in other places?
Yeah. No, it was handy for me. I mean, for decades, I'd go in, work out, shower, and then go to work. It was awesome. They're big in Asia. This is the only United States, only one in the United States. But he's all
Huh.
over Asia, Philippines, Japan, Thailand,
And I don't know if
Indonesia.
maybe it's the laundry part that throws people off, or what makes it. It doesn't seem like it'd be that challenging to add that facet in there.
Oh, but
But
that adds cost to it.
yeah.
That adds cost. So, like, I'm at 24-hour fitness, and I bought the year and then this is the national plan, where if I go on the continent, my membership will work there wherever I go, and it was like $225 or something, $250 for the year, for the
Wow.
whole year. That would have been like 2.5 months at Clark Hatch.
Yeah, well, my small town only has two gyms, and neither one is, a chain or anything. They're just guys who open gyms. And I use my silver sneakers. One of them, I paid $50 for the fob to get in, and that was it. until he closes or I die. That's the only money I'll have put out. So,
Oh, wow.
but if I gotta go somewhere else, obviously I'm gonna be day passing it or whatever. But still,
How big
why
is your town?
10,000?
Oh,
So, and we're the next largest is an hour away. That's Mankato, um, Mankato State. They got a University of Minnesota Mankato campus, but I think I want to say 60 or 70,000. They got a Sam's, no Costco. Um, they have a mall. We have a mall that's 10% filled. The rest is all deserted, like one of those apocalypse movies when you walk in the
right.
mall.
Build it
There's
and they will come, and they never came, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess back when, they had tenants because there was the JC Penney there for when I got down in '09, but not enough people to support it.
Yeah. Now, COVID, you go down. We were just talking about that. So yesterday, I went to lunch. My friend I was working with, we walked downtown, and downtown Honolulu. This was right in the middle of lunchtime. This was, 11:30, quarter to 12, 12 o'clock, whatever it was. And the mall, the First Street Mall was basically empty.
Wow.
Very few people walking around. We walked into one place for eat, no line. Little mall, little food mall. No, what do they call that? Food place with a bunch of different places to eat. Go wherever you want. No line anywhere.
Hmm.
So COVID made a big change in how people work, man.
Yeah, and it's lots of positive and lots of negative at the same time.
Yeah,
Because I
this
know a
part is good.
few.
There's a lot of this, the Zoom, which is not bad, but then some people get carried away with it. I find they're always calling a meeting for no reason just because it's easy. You can send the link out and have a meeting, and I'm
Yeah,
like, why? Why you like doing FaceTime? Call me on my phone and FaceTime me. Have a full conversation. We don't need to be in a meeting, but
yeah.
not
Because
no more. Woo, woo.
you can look back and tell people those were the days, right?
Yeah, not no more, man. I don't have to worry about that.
Have you done any recreational traveling then?
Oh yeah, I went crazy in 2024. I had several neighbor island trips, and then I went to combined Texas and Kentucky in one trip. So I have friends in Texas, and I have my sisters in Kentucky. She retired there, the one right above me, the '74 grad,
Okay.
and they built this palatial mansion on 3 acres in a really nice community. And it's almost kind of funny because it's a place called Henderson, Kentucky, and it's close to Evansville, Indiana. And that's actually flying to Evansville. It's the biggest airport. It's about half an hour away. And they built this because his daughters were there, granddaughters were there, you know, mother, sister, nieces, nephews, thinking they'd have a lot of people sleeping over and stuff. So they built this big house, and then nobody's there but just them two, because the people will come and visit, but they don't stay over. The only one that goes over is my sister Malia. She goes over about once a year and stays for a month or so.
Huh.
Yeah, the '73 grad. She goes up and hangs out there. So
I
I did that, and then I went to Japan. So my niece is in Japan. She's stationed there at Yokota Air Force Base in Fusa, which is an hour and a half, like northwest of Tokyo, downtown Tokyo. And I had gone with my, because as soon as she got stationed there, a couple, 3 years ago, whatever it is, 4 years, 6 years ago, whatever a rotation is, I knew they were going, my brother and my sister-in-law. I said, you guys go, you tell me. So my sister told me, I went with them and we had good fun. So this time we're just talking, we're like doing a workout like this or something. My brother goes, oh yeah, we're going to Japan again. Oh, I'm going with you guys. And he looks at me and goes, what? I said, I'm going with you guys. He goes, you better ask Lay first. I said, okay. So then I did that. And then Christopher, like I told you, he was in South America with that nonprofit collecting data. So I said, hey, Chris, I'm going to come down around Christmas time in Ecuador because he was in Ecuador. And I'm going to come visit you. He goes, but actually, I'm going to be in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil for over Christmas. I said, oh, I can do Christmas in Brazil. So turns out there's like 5 cities, that have direct flights to Rio, and New York's one of them from the United States. And Clea's in New York. So I just went up to New York, had like a long layover, like 16 hours, flew down to Rio, did Christmas in Rio, turned around, flew back to New York, did New Year's in New York with Kalia for about 7 days, and then came home.
Uh, New Year's in New York, were you like down in the heart of it where the people going
No,
nuts? I
no,
mean, no.
no, because we were talking, and she said she was, first of all, she said, Dad, if it gets cold, and it's nuts. She says there's 10,000 people or more, 30,000 people, and you're body to body, and there's no bathrooms. You got to go early. People stand for hours in the cold. I said, no, I don't want to do that. So she said, okay, let's go. Here's a nice restaurant. So we went to this nice restaurant, and they had a Peruvian band or something like that. This is a band from South America, and they had won a South American Grammy, and they were playing this like South American jazz blues kind of thing. It was really pretty good. So we had there good food, and we were walking out, and it wasn't that cold when we got there. And you take the train, and you're not walking very much, 5 minutes. We got outside, and the cold front that they had predicted came through. Rain, and the weather dropped. It got down to 26 degrees. I just had a sports coat on. We got outside. She's going like, okay, well, I'm going to take you to this other bar, but we have to walk this way for 5 minutes and then get on a train and then another 5 minutes walk. So we walk outside. We did that first walk for 5 minutes. We get into the train, the subway station. She's okay. The other train is this way. We can catch my train this way and go home. I go, let's go home. I am fucking freezing. I don't need to go to another bar. Let's go home.
Yeah, I mean, I learned that lesson in Minnesota where if it's going to be windy, it's going to be way worse.
Yeah, yeah.
Because really I've discovered, I guess maybe from acclimation after more than 12 years or whatever it's been, but, I can get down to teens, maybe even high single digits if the wind is not blowing.
Yeah.
But the minute it comes up, it's like, oh no. And nothing I drive has good heaters in it because it's public transportation and it's big interior. It's like, oh, so sad for.
I did okay because Rio was like 85 degrees, and then New York was like in the 30s, and they said that it did drop down to that, the mid 20s at one time, a couple of days. It snowed a little bit, light dusty. So I had enough. When I was layered, I was okay. But then, the flip side about that, like we went to a show, or a friend got us tickets to a show on Broadway. We go in there, and I'm good. I'm on the train. I'm walking in Times Square. I'm good. I'm not cold. But then I get in there. I got to take off 5 layers of clothes because now you're hot. You're in the theater, You got this whole pile of clothes in the back of your chair. But it's part of it. It was good. So we're bopping around Times Square, and that whole Times Square vibe, theater did it. And, oh, wow, this is really cool. I said, Kalia, let's walk. No, Dad. She's seen that a zillion times. She goes, no, I don't want to. Come, I'm going to take you to Brooklyn and let's go eat Italian food. So she takes me to Brooklyn, right? So the next day I'm going to the 9/11 memorial, and I'm by myself because she's working. So it's cold, but like I said, I'm layered up again. I go down there at 9/11. There's light dusting of snow on the ground. It's real, really awesome. Take my tour, and I'm coming back on the train. I see one of the stops is 42nd and Broadway. I said, well, I didn't get the full effect, last night, I'll get it now, where I can walk around where I have my daughters, I've seen this down. I don't want to see it again. So I'm walking around. Oh, pretty cool. Oh, that's a cool theater. Oh, that's pretty cool. Take a picture. Oh, that had me a hot dog from a vendor. It was kind of shitty, but it was a cold day. So I guess you didn't want to be out there either. And so Then I go, wait, that's an Applebee's. Okay, walk a little bit more. Like, oh wow, cool. Hey, wait, that's a Target. And then, wait, that's a McDonald's. What the hell am I walking around in 26-degree weather in snow to see a McDonald's for? So I jumped back on the train and I just went back to her house. I did get some pictures.
Yeah. Was it hard to grasp how to use a train? You weren't worried like, oh, you're going to end up in the wrong place or what?
No, no, because I've been in Japan and basically it was not quite is kind of like it's you pull up Google Maps and you put public transportation and it will tell you what train to catch, what station to go to, where to go to, what like if you're in the train station, which exit to take to get to the next one, and how far away the next. Like if you have to switch trains, so even in Japan, and then it'll tell you when the train's coming. So it's pretty easy.
See, I never used any facet except the driving part of any of those GPS app things. In fact, just within the last 2 months, I had to go to an event in Rochester, Minnesota, 2 hours from here, and I had to end up parking about 7 or 8 blocks from my venue. So very first time, I attempted to use the walking part of my
Yeah,
GPS.
yeah.
Got totally lost because your pace is so slow. It's your your blue dot's not moving. So I don't even know what direction I'm facing. I went like 6 blocks out of my way till I found out where I was going. It's like, but I remember seeing on there, train or bus or whatever
Yeah.
options, but I've never used them. So you bring that up, it's like, oh, okay, that's a cool thing to know next time I'm somewhere, that I have that
No, and
ability.
it depends on where you're at. It even tells you how crowded the train is and what car. If you like the front is not as crowded as the back, or the middle, the back is, and it'll tell you which is less crowded, so you can position yourself to get on the less crowded. It was pretty cool. And
Hmm.
then yesterday, I'm walking up by the Capitol and the governor's mansion, and I'm walking past that, going Waikiki to go to the DOH, Department of Health, and this gal's coming, and she has a little girl with her. It's a Holly person. She, excuse me, and she has an accent, right? And then like a German accent. I go, yeah. She says, oh, can you tell me where the Bishop Museum is? I go, the Bishop Museum? She says, yes, he told me off this bus, and he told me I get off the bus, it is somewhere this way. I go, nah, man. Bishop Museum is a couple, 3-4 miles from here, and you got to get on the other side of the freeway. I said, you can't walk there. And the little girl's only about like 5, right? She goes, oh, well, they told me. Said, well, can you show me? So I pull it up, and she goes, oh, yeah, no. Then she goes, okay, push the transportation for me. So I did, and it pulls up the bus, and we were right there, like, 100 yards from the bus stop right there at Punchbowl and Beretania. And she goes, I go, yeah, that's the bus stop that they're pointing to. She goes, okay, oh, the number 2 bus. And where do I get off? I go, Kapalama in school. I go, Kapalama. She said, may I take a picture of your phone? I said, yeah, have at it. So she took a picture of, I still had it up, right, the map. So she just waited, caught the number 2 bus, got off at Kapalama in school, and she had a 5-minute walk or 3-minute walk to the Bishop Museum. So
Oh,
she was good.
that's wild. You're going, we're nowhere near where you want to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, we are downtown Honolulu. We are nowhere near Kalihi.
Now, I want to ask about your time in Japan because my only experience is online and bloggers or whatever they're called, but seen some deals where they walk into a 7-Eleven and it's just amazing as far as what you have access to.
Oh yeah, the 7-Elevens are great. The food is great. Uh, all the food, most anywhere I went, the food was fantastic. Um, Different places are known for different things. Like this last trip, we went up to Hokkaido, which is the North Island. And I'll tell you what. So people ask because they always talk about the food, and food is great in uh, Japan, but it's the best. We went up. We were up on the very top north at a place called Wakanai, and it's like one of the northernest island, and the most northern is like a 30-minute bus ride, which we took because that's called Soya, and you can see Russia, the outline of Russia, and you can stick there. And my sister-in-law wanted to stick finger at Russia, so we did that. Then we came back, and we were so that. And the other thing they all have are these towers. All their visitor towers, their tourist attractions, and you go up and you have this view. So we went up to Manawakanai, came down, and went back into town. It's not a big town; it's a small town. They tell you watch out for deer. There's a lot of deer, wild deer, walking around in the town. So we're sitting there. Where do you want to eat? And she calls up on her Google Maps. She goes, "Oh, there's this thing. Forget what it's called, Jinzo or something. But it was supposed to be like the best sloppy joes in Japan." So we went. So I had a cheeseburger. She had the GI Joe sloppy Joe. My brother had a pizza or something. But it was like this fat with the bun. Each one bun was like about that fat. And I thought, oh, wow, that's way too much. I won't be able to eat that much bread. I picked it up. It was so soft and fluffy. It just collapsed. It was like one of the best hamburgers I've ever had. It was awesome, man. But it just looked big because it was fluffy.
No, I'm talking. Ooh, Layla. She doesn't want to do Air Force. Getting news from my granddaughter. She's going to go Army National Guard.
Oh,
She's in her junior year, so. But she has always thought about taking the military step into a career. She thinks she wants to be a lawyer, but she heard where she can get the education supplemented. So right away. I think she might be part Chinese or something. It's like,
yeah.
hey, it would be cheaper like that, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you just owe them 4 years. You owe them one enlistment. But, I'm sure if they pay for and get you as a lawyer, they're going to put some pressure on you to do at least 2 enlistments, which is 8 years.
But she obviously wouldn't mind either. So
Yeah. My niece likes it. She really likes Japan. In fact, usually you do two tours, and then they move you to someplace else. But she was up to make captain, and she wanted to make captain in Japan. So she asked if she could. Somehow she talked into letting her stay. So she's doing a third tour in Japan. It was nice. She was in this nice. You feel real safe, real clean. The subways, there's like no graffiti, like very clean, on time. The trains and subways in Japan, it's fantastic. It was easy. The food was awesome. You go eat ramen. Ah,
it's amazing. And then I never really understood because geography was never my top of my list, but apparently Japan has a lot of uh geographical differences depending on where you go, right? Like
oh yeah,
super
yeah.
mountainous, or did you guys go to like Tokyo, like a
We
big
were in
city like
Tokyo.
that?
Yeah, we spent time in Tokyo. We went to a baseball game, which is a unique experience. The Japanese love their baseball, but it's the way the fans. We were in the fan section, and it's crazy how they root for their team. When they're at bat, you stand the whole until they're done batting. And then they have things bonkers, blah blah, like plastic things, da 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 da, and they bonk them, and I don't know, it's crazy. And little umbrellas when they score, you hold the umbrella up, the little tiny umbrellas, and you hold them up. Yay, they scored! But
Do
Tokyo was
you get a
hot when we were there.
brochure telling you what you got to do?
No, you just follow them. My brother liked it because I don't know if you've seen the YouTube, but the beer girls. So the girls have a beer tank on their back, probably holds like 2 gallons, and they walk around. There's a whole bunch of them. They walk around, they come up and they pour you draft beer right there. So my brother was just happy because pretty girl comes serves him beer whenever he wants. But Tokyo was warm, like mid 80s. But then we went to Hokkaido, like we said, that north. Went up north and worked our way down. So Wakanai, Sapporo, and then Hakodate, which is the south one. But it was like San Francisco weather,
Oh,
like high 50s at night, low 60s during the day. Yeah. And Sapporo is like the skiing capital of the world, or at least of Japan. Right now, a lot of people go up there and ski, and there's another town close to Sapporo, and then you go skiing. That's the thing to go skiing in Japan.
See, and my mind doesn't even touch on skiing when somebody goes Japan, you know.
Yeah. No, it's like one of the places over there is like it's the city that gets the most snow in the world,
Holy
which you wouldn't
moly.
think. Yeah.
Uh, so how long did you stay the last time you guys went? How long were you
Oh,
there
like
for?
10 days.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, we did a lot of trips. We got there and uh, dropped our stuff off so Callan's apartment where we all stayed was home base. So then me, Mark, and then we went down to a place called Beppu, and it's known for its hot springs. So it has a lot of onsens, the public baths. And one of the old, I don't know if it's the oldest in Beppu or the oldest on that island or the oldest in Japan, but had this old log, huge building, log, and had the onsen. And a lot of people go. It's like a tourist. So we went to, that was our onsen. We went there. And then we were there for a couple of days. And we took a ferry from Beppu to Osaka overnight. Ferry was awesome. Was smooth. Was a really big boat. There you get the buffet. Costs you $15 for this big spread buffet. And then in the morning you get breakfast. You pay for like $6 or $7. You get
Jeez.
another buffet breakfast. Crazy.
And that's you were using Japanese money while you were
Mhm.
there? Okay.
That we pay with credit card, and they say when you pay with credit card, don't have them do the conversion because it's more expensive. Just pay with the yen, and your credit card company will convert it, and you get a better rate. So it was all credit card, but the boat was super nice. It was comfortable. We had a big room, so we had the accessible room, uh, but there was nobody with a disability. So the four of us were in there. So Cal and my niece came with us, and the bathroom was huge. The living room was bad. There was just you could barely feel the boat moving. No, there's no rolling, none of this, none of this. Where am I?
How big a boat are you
Oh, it's
talking?
big, bro. It was a ship. It wasn't a boat. It was a ship. And then got up in Osaka, and Osaka was crazy. Osaka is like uh, Fremont Street in Vegas, neon lights everywhere,
Huh.
nuts, nuts. And it's where the young people go to party. Streets are crowded with people partying, drinking. And I got up in the morning, and the young kids all hung, a bunch of them, you see all hanging over. They're all hanging over. Either they're eating, one is eating, or the other one's puking from the night before.
Do you see a lot of cops in Japan?
Yeah, but more or less, but you don't feel just the people in general. Feels very very safe. You don't feel threatened at all. You walk in nighttime, you walk by yourself, walking down the street, you see old ladies walking by themselves. So crime is really low. You don't feel threatened, and especially when you go outside of Tokyo, it's even less. I mean,
I'd heard that a number of different times from different people. So it was like, and then I guess it can get more severe. Where is it? Singapore, I think they'll like cane you on the street for spitting out your gum, or I mean, just
okay, Singapore. I was there when I worked overseas. That was one of our stops. We came through Singapore. Really clean, very strict. You're right. They're very strict, but it's a very clean town. Again, you feel very safe because uh, crime is really low. Now, I was in Rio. Rio wasn't bad, but they warn you about Rio. A lot of pickpockets and stuff. But we were at the beach area. We were at Copacabana and Ipanema, and they're actually similar beaches separated by rock outcropping. So if you're looking at the ocean, Ipanema's on your right, Copacabana's on your left. Same layout, big beaches, wide beach, and a lot of security. So I wasn't too worried about anything happening at that area. But my plane was delayed leaving, so we were supposed to leave at 11 o'clock at the night. Plane was there, but they couldn't get a crew. So at 2 o'clock, they finally shuffled us off to a hotel, and then we were going to go out the next day. Starting at 3 or 4 o'clock, they started busing us to the airport. So I got up, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock, whatever it was, missed breakfast. But I said, I'm not hungry. I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk, buy some water, buy a big bottle of water for the flight. So we were in downtown Rio. Now, some of the buildings were cool, real old style, you know, colonial style buildings, very old. But man, homeless, both sides of the street, a lot of shared buildings, graffiti. I was like, oh, this is the part of Rio they tell you, or Brazil, they tell you, you will get mugged at some point. So I just turned around and went back to the hotel and waited. So
I
it's
can
time to go to.
imagine how much crazier it would have been during the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, 'Cause you got a lot of foreign people who feel like they own the place, and
Yep.
then they're breaking rules like crazy. And
Yep. Yep. And that's where, and they're not in a big, like Rio is a tourist place. The beaches anyway, that's their big money times. And, that's where you see the salsa and stuff, the big salsa parades, carnival. So they got to protect that image, right? But other parts of it is, ooh, and it's a big city. There's 6 million people there. So they're
wow.
not all at the beach, they're all over. You go to some other spots. There's the favelas, the slums, yeah. They warn you about that. Because now, like you said, tourists, they see that on YouTube, they want to go to the favela. And they kind of say, you may not want to do that.
Hmm. The water comparable to ocean water in Hawaii, as far as
No, no. Their beaches were nice, very wide, very sandy, very long, like a couple miles long, mile long. But the water is the Atlantic, and I noticed there wasn't too many people in there. There were some surfers that wanted by the rock, but me and my son, after about the second or third day, we're walking around. I said, "Hey, boo, you been in the water yet?" He goes, "Nah, I ain't been in the water yet." I go, "Come on, bro, we're Hawaiian. We're gonna jump in the water." We walk out. We got knee deep. We look at each other. We said, "Nah, the water is cold, man." I
oh
thought it'd be way warmer because it had been 85 degrees for the last 2 days, 3 days, and you just expected the water to be warmer, but it wasn't. And there had been some rain off and on, and it kind of looked gray. It wasn't clear. Like me and my brother just came back from Alawa, and the water is just super, super clear. A little crisp, but clear. But
yeah, because
but
I've
still
heard
nice.
people
I mean, don't get me
travel
wrong.
and tell me, like, I don't know what that area would be like, St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, like that. People who've been there and Hawaii tell me they actually think the water's prettier, in that area than Hawaii. And I thought, that's got to be something I want to see because, you know, the ocean in Hawaii to me is like
Yeah,
top notch. So,
all I can think of is that's the Caribbean is that they have a lot of reef, and so they might have a lot of tranquil waters where they
mm.
don't get to surf. Because like today at Ala Moana, I can't imagine a place being nicer than Ala Moana was today. It was awesome.
Is that still like around Alwana Beach Park? Just that long drive along the coastline, people
Yeah.
on the wall, and
Yep.
I
It was
remember
nice.
just taking that and finding a parking space and just sitting and watching people and enjoying being out there. It was kind of a neat place, but I mean, I've been gone technically since beginning of 2010, and I hear stories like Kaka'ako area like that. Just I remember the Dillingham area when we go do driver's ed and stuff. Already there were collections on the side streets of homeless and just all the little temporary tents and cardboard
Oh
boxes.
yeah, yeah. No, we have them here. We have them in Kaka'ako, which is interesting because they're all this building is going on. So they're building all these. And there's some workforce like I'm in, high rises, but there's a lot of high end, expensive high rises. Million, 2 million, $4 million high, and then in between, on the street, you see this homeless camp. You know,
Mm.
so
Does it hamper you as far as just getting in and out of where you live sometimes, or you just ignore them and walk past
no,
them, or
no, they never bothered me. And even when I would walk early to the gym, I think all I can remember is one time being hassled, not even hassled, but kind of approached by a guy who got a little sassy, but
yeah,
or maybe two times. There's another time, but other than that, for the most part, I just you feel sorry for him, you know, walking
yeah.
by
But I
there,
mean,
sleeping on a
you
sidewalk. Ooh,
and even you feel good about giving them a handout. Handout's not going to take them anywhere.
no,
That'll give them the next 10 minutes or whatever.
no. They say don't give them money anyway because they're going to spend it on drugs or booze. If you want to give them something, go buy them food, go buy them a bento or give them bento. So what I do is there was a guy he used to be down here there used to be a group by 7-Eleven, but they ran him off for the most part. And so he kind of moved down by I see him once more. But he's not by 7-Eleven too much. But I see him once in a while by the fire station across the street or like one block down. But I give him my cans, because I'm not going to go to a redemption center to get, I got 20 cans. I'm going to get $1, 40 cans, get $2, right? So I used to give him my cans. So he gets some money, but he's got to go redeem them. But
That way, he's taking some steps himself. Yeah.
yeah,
So, what are you signed up for reunion? Are you going to do the luau?
I'm doing the luau. I'm doing kupuna night and class night,
Now, Kupuna night is
or
which
kupuna
one?
lunch, or whatever it is.
Oh, okay, okay.
Kupuna lunch, kupuna
I-
lunch.
Is that the one down Kikualpio or someplace that I got kind
Yeah,
of.
I'm not quite sure where it's at. I got to look at the handout, but I didn't sign up for a whole bunch. I got in. Oh, the golf tournament. Signed up
Okay.
for the golf tournament. So me and my brother and Peter are playing. Peter Kang, our team.
That is like the second or third, or is that later than that?
No, it's like the first Monday. It's the Monday of Alumni Week. Is
Okay.
when the tournament is.
Yeah, because I'm flying on the fourth because we still have school on the third. That's the last day of school. So I have to, is that a Wednesday, I think. Park my bus, drive 2.5 hours to the Twin Cities airport and fly out. And I paid the extra dime to go nonstop because I'm not doing a layover on the way over.
Oh no, no. I'm looking for a calendar. Calculator. Calendar.
I also lost track of time on the t-shirt and the ball caps. I wanted to get a cleaner, newer Kamehameha ball cap, and then I missed the deadline on that. I jumped on the website and it was gone. So,
Yeah, that is done. But can you see? This
right on.
I'm wearing the Kamehameha T-shirt
Oh, okay.
with the Pawahi symbol.
Is is that
It's long sleeve. It's tri-fit. It's a nice shirt. Dark blue. Oh,
right
you
on?
can't see. Probably can't see me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
there's the golf tournament is on the second. On the fourth is our class informal get together at Mai Tai Bar.
what part of town is that? Do you know?
The Mai Tai is Ala Moana
Okay.
Shopping Center. Then on Friday is our class night at Natsunoya. I don't know when I got to put the other stuff in there. I think kupuna is Thursday. Kupuna lunch is Thursday. Saturday is the luau, but it's in the afternoon. It's not. It's not. Doesn't go. I don't think it goes to like 9 o'clock at night. I think it's in the afternoon, like a lunchtime thing for the
Huh.
luau.
Yeah, I heard they made changes, like
Yeah,
zero alcohol now or something, or
yeah. Well, you can buy beer and wine now. I think they brought that back. But in the dorms, there's no cooking. There's no alcohol. So we well, you heard that we went and got. I know, but we got hotel rooms. Yeah.
yeah. I just for old time's sake, I was gonna stay in the dorms, but I
Did you
guess
sign up already?
yeah.
So didn't you have to go? Don't you have to go double occupancy in the dorm?
Not that I read. It was 2.25 for 3 days, but I didn't read double occupancy, so I
Oh,
don't
that's
know.
it. That's $75 a night. Well, maybe they changed it then.
Hmm. I've never been a big reader of fine print, so
Yeah.
what's that say? I always like it when I hear it, but never memorize it. It's better to ask for forgiveness than
Oh
ask for
yeah.
permission or something like
Beg
that.
forgiveness and ask permission.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I live close by, so I'm not staying at the hotel or the dorm. I'm just gonna stay in my apartment. I live in Kaka'ako, so I'm just gonna
My,
hang out
my favorite response when I mess up is, "Oh, sorry, I never know."
here. Ha! uh,
Well,
right?
I'm excited in how this is all starting out. Tomorrow I talked to Philip Swain and Stephen Capellis. Um, I can't remember days, but I've got Tanya Chun online. I'm still trying to talk Jeff Noah off the fence. Crystal Rose is on her way back from Japan, but she said yes when she gets back. Kathy Thurston. Abby is on the fence, and I don't know why. I think she would just love it so much. And I can't reach Arlene. I texted Arlene, but I don't get, huh? Dalton? That's cool. That's like the guy from Roadhouse. So,
Huh, I would have thought Arlene would have responded. You got her right number?
um, Kathy Thurston said yes, but that's what I had bugged her about when she was on her beach walk. Because I have 2829003.
Huh. I thought I had Arlene's number, but I don't. I'd have to
Yeah.
look it up in the reunion stuff.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, there's long list. A lot more yeses in the beginning than I really thought I would get. So I'm kind of excited by it. And one thing I like Sean Holt's not coming. Richard Bartlett just recently found out he can't make it. He had planned to. So this way it gives those people a chance to feel included a little bit, like they're hearing about people they know and what's been going on. That was my whole concept behind getting together and kind of talking story about June and the last 50 years, because a lot of stuff can happen in 50
Yeah,
years.
a
You know
lot of
way
stuff can
better than
happen
me,
in
man.
50 years, man.
I look back sometimes and think in my youth, I thought there's no way I'd ever get here. I would
Right?
be dead or in prison somewhere along the way, but I'm excited, looking forward to June. So,
Yeah, I am too. I think it's going to be a great reunion.
yeah. So, Michael, big mahalo for
Thank you, sir, for doing
working with
this.
me on that. And we shall see you in June.
June, my friend.
Okay.
Okay.
Aloha,
Ahui.
no, my man.
Yep.